who will be starting this one from pole position, and alongside him on the front row will be Luca Griggs. Two drivers who went pretty well yesterday. Luca Griggs didn't have the best end to his day. Of course, he was involved in an incident off the line in his final heat, which saw him into the barrier before he even got down towards turn number one. But Sami Megatunev, a good day for the Frenchman, Guillaume. Very impressive and a good recovery after what was a difficult opening to the championship for him at Sana.
Yeah, a good day indeed for Sami Megatunev, except for one race, unfortunately, where he didn't see the checkered flag as such for Luca Griggs. These are the two drivers that you've seen briefly in the shade of the dummy grid, waiting patiently to get on the track. Of course, as you said, Nigel Edwards had a final word to address to Sami Megatunev. Nigel Edwards, the race director of the CIK FIA, who had yesterday a big conference, a big briefing, let's say, just to remind all the drivers, of course, about the rules and the respect that those youngsters have to have for each other. There's no doubt, of course, that the respect is out there, even though for the senior category, even more for the more experienced drivers, of course. But Nigel Edwards, of course, who had those very useful words for all the drivers out there, just to try to put up a good show together and respect, of course, all the drivers involved on both category. So we're about to be going for the first race of today. This is the qualifying heat opposing Group E and F in the junior category. Let's get serious, shall we? Just a few words, of course, because things got serious already yesterday with a lot of qualifying heats. As we said, qualifying heats are important just to make your way into the final. Only 34 drivers allowed in both final races of this weekend. We have a lot of drivers involved in both, around 142 of them engaged here for this second round of the European Championship. But all of them won't have the chance, of course, to dispute the final race of the weekend, only 34. That's why qualifying heats are so important for most of them. Try to get some points for the championship, but most of all, try to have at least one place on the grid in this final race. We have already a few names to mention, of course. After yesterday's qualifying heats, we had the pleasure to talk to the two drivers, Dylan Van Toffe and Hannes Janker, something you can see on the YouTube channel of the FIA European Karting Championship and on the Facebook page. We've been putting a lot of content out there, so make sure to tune in if you're not able to be in the UK to join us on location. As you can see on screen, for those of you following the live stream brought to you by FIA Karting, thank you for joining in this beautiful Sunday. We are in the beautiful region of Lincolnshire in the heart of Great Britain. We are good to go for the first qualifying heat of today, the fifth and most important one for those youngsters in the junior category, Chris.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. Now, before we go into the grid, just to bring you up to speed of the points position at the moment, from what we believe, the top 11 is currently Delano Van Hoff, Gabriel Bortoletto, Kirill Small, Gabriele Mini, Victor Bernier, Thomas ten Brink, Alexandros Katoulis. Then it is Rafael Kumara, Isaac Hajar, and Zach O'Sullivan. That's what we believe the order to be. The grid for this one, though: Sami Megatunev and Luca Griggs, row 1, Katoulis and Kumara, row 2, Hajar and O'Sullivan, row 3, so some big names mentioned in that one, Cabaru and Lul, row 4. Then it's Josep Saprepera and Taylor Barnard, row 5, row 6, James Wharton and Lawrence Van Hopen.
Row 7, we're going to have Matthew Rees and Joseph Knopp. Row 8, Wang and Crawford. Row 9, Contecha and Reves. Row 10, Cook and Andrew Trulli. Row 11, Zanfari and Heinonen. Row 12, Giovanni Gonzalez and Nikita Bedrin. As usual, one formation lap. That's plenty enough, of course, for those drivers to get in shape. Over to you, Chris. We're good to go, I think, for the start of this first qualifying heat of the day.
8 laps as ever for the juniors. Up to the line we go. Megatunev to the left and Griggs to the right, and we're off away in racing then. Sami Megatunev is going to lead us in towards turn number 1. It was the first time start, so very clean start so far, but let's not speak too soon. We got the 2 hairpins yet to come as they go over the bridge for the first time. It looks as if, oh, and we spoke too soon. A spin over the bridge. Now that looked to be, it was the 246 Josep Sopripera who has gone around, so a disaster there for the Spaniard. But out front, Megatunev leading from Katoulis there, who is also having to defend from Isaac Hajar in 3rd place. Then it is Luca Griggs behind in 4th place. I believe then next along it's Rafael Kumara as they make their way down towards Bobby Game Corner. There in 6th place looks to be Loris Cabarrou. And there we can see the two Forza Racing teammates, 2nd and 3rd at the moment, Catoulas and Hajar chasing down the Formula K driver of Sami Megatunov, the Frenchman, completing lap number 1 in the lead.
Here we go for 7 more laps to go in this qualifying heat E against F. Sami Megatunov, who took the first start ahead of Alexandru Catoulas, 2/10 of a second behind those two. Still a very packed field after this first lap. zac'kart in 3rd, then Luka Griggs in 4th position. This is top 4 with a lot of drivers very close to each other. 5th position for Kaves Kamara. And then we see a move happening in the hairpin, a good move out there in the taking line. I think it was the 2-6 indeed. I think it was Taylor Barnard getting past James Wharton for 9th position, as we just saw on screen. The unlucky driver that got the contact over the bridge. It was, as you said, Chris, Josep Maria Sobrepera, who needed to be recovered out there on the track. Is back on top of the field with a good battle going on over there in the 3rd part of the track. Sorry, Mati Sobrepera is still on track as he is currently in the last position. Fortunately for the Spaniard, as they come across the line again, Sami Megatunov still the leader and unchanged of a gap between those two. 2/10 of a second still behind Sami Megatunov and Alexandros Catoulas, Chris.
Over the bridge, the top 3 beginning to escape here. They've got a gap of around 6.5 tenths, of course, over 4th place, which is still Luka Griggs. Griggs having had 2 second place finishes yesterday, along with a 7th, but that 21st place will be putting him down the grid in the final. So Luka Griggs could do with a top 3 finish here, if not a win. As for Megatunov out front, yesterday he had a 4th, a 3rd, a 20th and a 3rd. So yet to have a win, yet to finish in the top 2. Can he change that now? The Forza Racing teammates will be hoping that doesn't happen, as we see someone just running a little bit wide there. That was the 295, I think it was, of James Wharton in the Paralin chassis. But down the start finish straight once again, head down for Sami Megatunov. No changes so far between the top 7, but I feel we are building up to a very hectic race very shortly. New fastest lap for the Brazilian Chaves Camara in 5th place.
There's Romano viewers, of course, and the change on the bridge. Beautiful for 4th position indeed, with Camara getting past Luka Griggs. Well spotted there, Chris. And we're going to see some of the change coming in the hairpin, taking the inside line. Is there any change to spot? No, that wasn't successful, except for Taylor Barnard, the British driver, who got past Axel Sullivan. And a change again, Chris.
Change at hairpin too. That was Loris Cabarrou going past Luka Griggs, who's fallen down the field. He's now lost places to Zach O'Sullivan and to Taylor Barnard, and he's going to lose even more places here as well. That looks as if we've got Matthew Rees going through as well. Luka Griggs tumbling down the order.
Yeah, some contact over there in the last part of the track. This is very bumpy out there on the PFI track as they come across the line, and we see a change in the lead indeed with I think Alexandru Catoulas, who just gone past Sami Megatunov. It just happened on top of the field as we were following the battle just behind, and Alexandru Catoulas with 1/10 of a second ahead, and Luka Griggs in trouble. Well spotted there, Chris, with a 14th place drop. He's in 16th place. Luka Griggs out there on the bridge. Is he?
We don't know where to look here because there's a change of lead, but there's also someone off at the bridge as well, and that is, who is that's gone off at the bridge? I think we'll find out shortly. Marcel Kuch or Josef Knop, I think it is. But change of lead once again. Megatunov back into the lead.
It's going in all direction so early in the morning. This is the first sign that competition is going to be absolutely fantastic. Good for the junior, putting a good show so far with Sami Megatunov back in the lead ahead of Alexandru Catoulas. 3rd position for Isaac Arja. And some trouble, as we just mentioned, for Luka Griggs, the British driver, who was running on the podium and now back in 16th position with some of the drivers as well on the bridge in trouble. Let's wait as they come across the line again to identify who was that involved as they make their way up onto the bridge. A good battle as well between Rafael Kumara and Loris Cabarrou, the French driver, who's just set up the fastest lap, as you have the confirmation on screen. 57.0 for Loris Cabarrou, the fastest on track right now, chasing the Brazilian driver Kumara for 4th.
Yeah, as you said, well spotted there. Loris Cabarrou in 5th place on the Energy chassis, chasing down the Cosmic Chassis of Kumara. There are the two leaders, though. Megatunev looking to pick up his first win of the weekend, which would boost him up the order here. One bad result, three good results. One very good result would go along for him very well and perhaps put him around the top 10, maybe just outside of it, as they come onto the start-finish straight and complete lap number 6. Across the line we go. Katulis at the moment, they're in second place. He's had a good weekend by far. His best weekend of the season so far, Alexandros Katulis. Likewise, Isaac Hajar going along very well. The Frenchman, as they come down the bridge and down towards the first hairpin in the background, we can see Kumara in a battle. We can also see Zach O'Sullivan being chased down by Taylor Barnard. And behind that, it looks as if Matthew Rees is in a battle with Lawrence Van Hopen, as well as Daniel Breeze-Law, who's just going fastest through the first sector. So a lot of interesting battles to keep an eye on within this top 10 gear. Leaders making their way now into the Mike Wilson complex one more time. This the penultimate lap, and it looks as if Sami Megatunev, I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks as if he's on for his first win of the weekend.
Yeah, unlike, I think, Alexandros Katulas, who got the pressure for Isaac Hajar just behind him. So we see a move coming up from the French driver, still in third position, chasing Alexandros Katulas in second. Sami Megatunev, as you said, just had a few meters away on Alexandros Katulas. And a change for second position with Isaac Hajar chasing and just getting past Alexandros Katulas. Fantastic move. Can he actually attack back and try to take the position back in the inside line? It's not happening for Alexandros Katulas, who just dropped back in third position. Fantastic move from the Frenchman, Isaac Hajar. Can he actually try to make his way in? And it's going to be very tight up until the end with those three drivers in the picture. With a good move indeed from Isaac Hajar, now in third, with in fifth position Camara putting up the pressure on the Katulas as they're gonna come across the line. I think Sami Megatunev had the best out of his chassis for this qualifying heat, and this is a victory from Sami Megatunev, the Frenchman, crossing the line with a win in the pocket. Fantastic result, the first win for this weekend. It just came at the very last qualifying heat for Megatunev, who got unlucky so far. And that could put him in a very good position on the grid, of course, as we'll keep you informed in the lunchtime show that Chris McCarthy and myself are going to be hosting at midday. As soon as we're going to have the official classification, the intermediate ranking, as we call it. Isaac Hajar in second position. This is a 1-2 from France here on the British soil. Alexandros Katulas in third position. That just got past in the later stages of the race. And then we have in fourth Rafael Kumara, Loris Caberu, a third French driver in the top 5. Zach O'Sullivan and Taylor Barnard are respectively 6 and 7. Lawrence Van Hopen is 8. Matthews Rees in 9th position. 10th position for Daniel